Hi, my name's Keith Galley. Started my Morecambe career when I was 17. Finished in 1991 when I was 36. In between went to Southport, Telford and Netherfield.
So Keith, what were your earliest influences in relation to football? What got you into it as a boy or whatever?
As a boy, my dad worked at Wilbur in Anglesey.
Right.
And the last sort of year or so at primary school, started playing football. Mm-hmm. And then we went to Sir Thomas Jones School. And I'm thinking they play rugby in Wales, but no, it was football.
Right.
So I ended up playing for this school, captain in the county team, playing for North Wales. Mm-hmm. And I believe I should have played for Wales against England at Wembley, but it was cancelled for whatever reason. And by the time they rescheduled it, I was a little bit too old.
Right. So you were eligible to play for Wales?
Because you're a Welsh schoolboy, even though I'm English, you're allowed to play for Wales. My dad moved up to Heysham Power Station, which we followed him when I was 15. Played for Balmoral School, just for 1 year. And Malcolm Price, who was my PE teacher, said, "I'm going to take you to the college. You play for them." So that's great, yeah. So I ended up playing a couple of games for a gentleman called Malcolm Hall at the college. And he said, "I don't want to be big-headed," but he just said, "You're too good for this, Keith. I'm taking you to Morecambe." So I ended up playing for Morecambe Reserves. Made my debut when I was 16. And I remember it was a friendly against Stourbridge. The August that I was 17 in October, and I got one goal, a header from the. It's funny I remember these things, Dave.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a header from the 18-yard box. I could see it now going in, and then a gentleman called Alan Taylor, which a lot of football fans will know, and he went to Rochdale, and I ended up taking his place in the first team. So I signed pro forms when I was 17. Obviously regular, and I was scoring a few goals. I played centre forward, scored a few goals. There was a lot of teams interested in me. Managed to get to a couple of cup finals, and we played 54 games that year.
Wow.
Which was a lot of games.
Wow. A
lot of games. In fact, at the end of the season, we ended up playing 7 games in 7 days. And then we got to Wembley. I remember playing Bangor City in the first round. We won 2-1 and I got the second goal, a header. I've still got the picture. It looks like a proper header as well. And unfortunately I didn't score many goals after that. But we played Bedford, Kettering, so we beat all these teams. And then in the semi-final we played South Shields. A few weeks earlier South Shields had beat us 7-0. So when we got to the semi-final, against South Shields, they thought they were going to beat us, which is understandable, by the way, after losing 7-0. So we won the first game 2-0 and the second game 1-0. And there was 3,500 fans at Christie Park. Absolutely great atmosphere. So you can imagine the town was going wild, getting to Wembley, and arguably Morecambe had a lot of success. That was the start of the great club that Morecambe is today. Yeah.
What can you remember about the day at Wembley?
I remember the day we got up, we had breakfast, and we went training on Hyde Park. And although I was a little bit disappointed, but at the end of the day, he'd made the right decision. He put his arms around me and said, "You're sub today, Keith." Oh, gee. So I was disappointed. He said, "But don't worry, you'll get another chance at Wembley." Of course I never did. But we won 2-1. I got 25 minutes ish, and there's 1 or 2 pitches around. We were running down the left wing and crossing the ball, etc. And then obviously the final whistle went, and we went up for the cup and shook. I can't remember the gentleman's name who presented the trophy, running around the pitch. And you know, I'm looking into the crowd and, you know, seeing people that I knew. My mum and dad, my sister were all there, and my granddad was there to see it.
What was the atmosphere like?
Oh, it was just short of 20,000 there. It seemed like full.
Wow.
The atmosphere was absolutely brilliant. The Morecambe crowd are absolutely brilliant. And they thoroughly enjoyed the day. Then afterwards we were all in the bath because they had big baths in those days.
Yeah.
And we had bottles of champagne. I obviously got my medal.
Yeah.
And day after we came back and we had a reception at the Morecambe Town Hall. Great time for everybody. But you know, even to this day, Dave, that you can ask somebody and they'll tell you their story of that day.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's not only the players, the officials, it's everybody involved with Morecambe Town.
Yeah.
And they say here we are in 2021, still talking about it.
Yes.
It's great, absolutely great. I remember beating Chesley Street 5-1, and I scored quite a good goal with my left foot, which was unusual. Obviously the FA Trophy against Manchester City, that was a good header when I was 18. But probably the highlight of my career was when we played in the, it's called the Junior Cup, which is Lancashire Junior Cup. But a lot of good teams, Barrow, Netherfield, Marine, Chorley, all good sides. And we were losing 2-1 with seconds to go. They'd even got the black and white ribbons on the cup for Chorley to present it to Chorley. And they'd got a corner, put it into the box. Our keeper got it, Peter McDonald, threw it out to Graham Jones, passed it to me. I was running down the wing with it, and our centre half, Kenny Gordon, absolutely flying. And I crossed it for him, and he scored with a header, 2-2.
So that made it
then,
extra time.
Extra time. So we were in the first half of extra time, we had a free kick on the edge of the box, and a lad called Peter Sayer, who played for Cardiff and Wales, he chipped the ball, and I rose and headed it into the corner for the winning goal.
Fantastic.
So afterwards, got carried on my shoulders. So that was probably more of a highlight of my career.
Yeah.
There's some good teams. There was one against Bedford, and apparently there was a streaker on. Came running at half time. A woman, I forget her name now. And of course we didn't see it. Everybody else did. And I believe it was the first streaker that ran onto a football field.
Oh, right.
I moved from Morecambe, which was 1991. I was about 36, 37, and I moved up to Netherfield. I was 38, and I was getting up in the morning, and my back and ankles were like a little old man. And one day I was centre forward, and somebody put a ball through for me. I was quick, but I couldn't get to the ball. So I thought, it's time to pack in. So I did, I packed in shortly after. Went into a bit of, not management, but sort of helping out, coaching this other, Brian Griffiths, Tony Esketh. Did a bit of that, and then I came back and helped Dickie Danson with the under-18s for a couple of years. And then I just decided, that's it, I've had enough. So I've been in it probably from 16 to 42, 44, something like that. And I wouldn't change it for the world. Thank you.